Hi and welcome to this Screen Matrix marketing tutorial. My name is Jeremy Nicholson and the topic today is starting from scratch. I recently requested topics from the members of the marketing meetup on Facebook, and this was in the top 3. You can see the other videos in the series together with supporting documents by visiting www.screenmatrix.com. While the previous video concentrated on marketing without money, today I'm looking at how and where to start. I'm not going to discuss Google PPC or Analytics, nor any of the other products, platforms or ecosystems like Adobe, Salesforce, HubSpot, Marketo and so on. They are just tactical tools used to implement a policy. I'm talking about how to arrive at that policy. I'll be talking about budgeting today, assuming you need to create and justify a budget to launch your project or product. There are 5 stages to my way of thinking. If you read the manuals and the textbooks, you may think that market research is the first step on the critical path. But to my mind, there's a crucial step before that, and that is the genesis of the product itself. If you're an entrepreneur, this will be your own creation. But this video is intended for marketers, either employed or subcontract, in-house or agency, as well as entrepreneurs. And if that's the case, you'll need to have the genesis and the idea of the product presented to you in the form of a brief, and that will form part of a business plan or some other form of pitch deck or communication. A good product is your best marketing asset, so put most of your effort into getting this bit right. So step 1 is to refine the business plan, the marketing plan segment of it, the product offer, the campaign materials. You'll need them to manage internal resources and deal with the other people that you deal with within the business, as well as to contract external suppliers and affiliates and customers, obviously. So make sure that you're confident that you've got a good proposition and a good product. Too many marketers, I find, just are so keen to get the business that they lap up the brief they're given without question. You, as a professional marketer, you've been brought in to use your skills and your experience, so re-examine the assumptions in the brief or job description that you've been given, question and as an entrepreneur, this is the stage where you need to test your business plan so hard you break it, and then you rebuild the pieces into something stronger. You should know your revenue targets so you can work back through the conversion funnel and arrive at a budget for media spend based on your target CTR, CPM and OTS. So for example, if you target 100 sales per month and your conversion rate is 1%, then you'll need 10,000 clicks per month. If your CTR is 0.1%, you'll need OTS of 10 million. If your CPM is £2.50, then your monthly media budget will be 25 grand. Bear in mind, that's just your media. Your total cost of acquisition will be way higher than that. You have creative and the other elements of marketing. So your total cash burn will be even higher than that. So you'll have overheads, production, all the other costs. So look at those numbers, and in many cases they won't make sense because you'll be talking millions and millions of OTS, and there aren't even enough potential customers out there to look at it. So it sounds impossible when you just do that simple bit of mathematics. It's not impossible, but obviously it's difficult. The fact is that 90% of startups fail. 10% of startups fail before they reach their second year. In the UK in 2022, 38% of startups, that's well over a third, failed because they ran out of cash or failed to raise new capital. Then 35% failed because there was no market for their product or service, and 20% failed because they were outcompeted. So if you add those two together, that's 55%. Over half of new startups in the UK in 2022 failed because of poor marketing. Interestingly, Only 8% of startups failed because they had a bad product. McDonald's isn't successful because it makes tasty burgers. It's a very successful and well-planned business model. Failing to plan, as they say in the SAS, is planning to fail. Now, not many businesses can start with 25 grand a month for media. So what do? You refine it and you cut back and you go back to what's essential. Can you start with 10 customers a month? Can you get your first 10 customers by word of mouth or an email campaign? Can you build organically until you can afford, say, 2.5 grand a month? That's 500 a week. It should be affordable to most small businesses to support that level of media spend. So when you've gone through, in rough terms, that part of the calculation, your next stage 2, is related. It's validating that internal documentation with reference to external factors. That's not just customers, but that's your traditional gap analysis, competitor analysis, your online web stats, Google Analytics. All that sort of stuff is out there. The resources are there for you to go and have a look and have a play. But your existing customers, if you're in an existing business, they're the most important marketing resource to which you have access. Now, your analysis needs to be qualitative as well as quantitative. So a customer may be full of praise for your product. You go and see him, you talk to him, he loves it. Is he a profitable customer? Would a more significant buyer be more pragmatic in their assessment of your product benefits? Bear in mind who the statement's coming from before you just take it as read. Stages 3 and 4 again are related. That's creative and placement, or as they're otherwise known, the message and the medium. Now, don't think about revenue to start with. Think about market share. Think about where it will come from and why. So I'm going to say most people, I think, in the past have thought, oh, you have to get your message right, you have to get your creative right, and then you decide where to put it. I actually think it's the other way round. Media is the first step while the message follows. And the reason for that is that your medium dictates what you are able to do. If you're launching a perfume brand, then the whole range of sponsorship, events, celebrity endorsement, media such as Vogue magazine and 48 sheet posters, they might figure in your campaign plans. Most people aren't in that situation. If you're launching an app to, I don't know, help coarse fishermen find the best bit of riverbank and keep count of their tally, then you'll primarily be relying on digital channels, just the same as everyone else. Your media controls your target audience, and this in turn will determine the creative treatment for your messaging. Do not, whatever you do, let this kill your creativity. Deploy every asset you have. Use your street frontage, your signage opportunities, local and specialist print media if you can afford them, but most of all your charismatic personality to gain exposure and awareness. Just accept you will also have to put a standard form headline, text, images, video onto Google PPC and social media to gain direct responses. This is your bare minimum. This is where we are now. This is like stage 1. You have to do it. So everyone else is doing it. Everyone's on Google, Microsoft, Amazon and eBay now, so you need to be too. But you still need to stand out. So that is where your personality and the personality of your business comes into play as your most important marketing asset. Now, stage 5 is measurement and reporting, campaign ROI as we call it within the business. If you're a subcontract marketer, the need for this will be written into your contract. But if you're an entrepreneur, then post-campaign analysis often gets forgotten. So that is something you need to really be robust about. So going back to the thing that matters, the one thing that I think you need to take away from this. If you're marketing decision maker for any digitally enabled business, then you are where the rubber hits the road. You'll doubtless have fewer resources, less to spend than you'd like, less even than you may consider essential. But if you get the basics right, you'll find a way, because you won't waste anything. Clarity, simplicity, and precision are your friends. If you're an entrepreneur, you'll doubtless want to do it your own way. By all means, disagree with me, tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, shout at the sky, you're going to do it your way, full speed ahead and damn the torpedoes. That's why entrepreneurs are what they are, and that's why startups happen, and that's why I love them. But just bear in mind, you can't build bricks without straw. If you want to avoid your business becoming one of the 90%, or even worse, one of the 10%, you must come up with a reason why you will succeed when others have failed. Why is it better? What can you do that no one else can? Usually the answer comes down to that one thing: you. That's why it hurts so much to put it on the line. If you've measured all the metrics, done all the analysis, and knowing what you do, you still decide to go ahead anyway and give it your all, then if all else fails, at least you'll have my respect. As Randall McMurphy shouts towards the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, at least I tried. Thank you for listening. As I said, go to screenmatrix.com and you'll find resources and materials to support these tutorials, and I hope it helps. Thanks very much.